Now, the rest of the world may observe the International Day of Older Persons on October 1st every year, but here in Korea, we commemorate the day today on October 2nd. The day is spent acknowledging the contributions that older people make to society and raising awareness about issues that affect the elderly.
For more about this special day, we have Kim Ji-yeon joining us live in the news center. Ji-yeon, could you tell us a little bit more about the International Day of Older Persons and explain to us how Koreans are celebrating it?
Well, Daniel, Konyong, the day was designated by the United Nations in 1990 in order to raise awareness about issues concerning the aging population, which in Korea is growing at a very rapid pace. The day is actually celebrated on October 1st in many parts of the world, but because that day is Armed Forces Day here in Korea, the International Day of Older Persons is observed one day later on October 2nd. It is an important day because the rapid growth of the aging population is such a pressing concern here in Korea and for countries around the world. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon warned that by the year 2050, the number of older persons will be twice the number of children in developed countries, and the number of older persons in developing countries is expected to double, and in turn, this trend is expected to have profound effects on countries and individuals. In Korea, there was a variety of events around the nation to celebrate the Day of Older Persons, including providing a grand feast for the elderly people living in the community. But a lot of Koreans have their own ways of commemorating the day, and I was lucky to be able to follow two people who have dedicated their lives to helping the elderly who are volunteering at a local senior center. Take a look. Hong Moon-jae and Ko Myung-soon are on their way to check in on an elderly lady they think is in her 70s, identified only by her surname Im. Im suffers from memory loss as a result of Alzheimer's disease, one of the most common type of dementia, and lives alone. Hong and go check in on her at least once a week to make sure she's eating and taking care of her health, but they'll go more often if there's a problem. Once they found Lim with a lump on her head and tried to get her some medical care. Another time they found her with a pot of weak broth, and when they asked about it, they discovered she'd forgotten how to make dinner, so they did the cooking for her. Hong, who is 68 years old, and Ko, who is 56, have been volunteering together at the Kangdong Center for Dementia for 3 years.
I always try to think about how I can better treat her mind and heart. I really feel happy when I do this, but it's really hard to explain my feelings in words, to fully convey what I feel.
The number of people with dementia has risen steadily in Korea in recent years. According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, the country's elderly population, defined as those who are 65 and over, had risen more than 17% over the past 4 years through the end of 2012, while the number of elderly people with dementia had risen around 27% in the same period. The ministry estimated that around 1 in 10 Koreans has dementia and predicted the number would expand to 1 million in 2024. To address the situation, the city of Seoul started building centers for senior citizens in 2008, dedicated to preventing dementia among the elderly. There are centers in almost every district in the city of Seoul, and they offer programs tailored to the needs of the people in each community.
Now, Ji-yeon, tell us more about these centers. Are they similar to nursing homes for patients with advanced dementia? I mean, what kinds of services do they provide?
These centers are quite different from nursing homes, Konya. While nursing homes care for patients that already have dementia, these centers focus on easing the symptoms for those who have demonstrated early signs of the condition. The centers offer free checkups for anyone over the age of 60 and organize social gatherings to help keep people active. People who show early signs of dementia are eligible for a free consultation with a counselor who can give them some options for their next steps forward.
Okay, Jian, so what are some of the ways to prevent dementia?
Well, local experts have suggested lifestyle changes for people of all ages that can help reduce the risk of getting dementia. Dr. Han So-hee of Konkuk University Hospital emphasized the importance of preventing dementia at a very early stage. Take a look.
Compared to other parts of our body like the stomach, the brain, once it's damaged, cannot recover as quickly. So it's important to prevent or mitigate symptoms of dementia before or at the early stages of memory loss.
As the teenage years are a crucial time for the development of brain cells, experts say teens should be exposed to a variety of experiences, such as learning how to play an instrument or taking trips to new places. Those in their 20s should avoid heavy consumption of alcohol, which could accelerate damage to these cells. And depending on the person's weight and the volume of alcohol in a drink, that's less than 3 cups of soju a day or 75 milliliters of alcohol. For those in their 30s and 40s, experts recommend exercising for at least 1 hour 3 times a week. Those in their 50s and 60s are advised to have a brain scan at least once every 5 years.
Right, preventing it is, I guess, more important than curing it. So that was our Kim Ji-yeon reporting live about how International Day of Older Persons is being observed right here in Korea.